Hey everybody, I am running different music today. Hey Time Roller. I just decided there was another playlist I'd made that has been, I probably did it a year ago or more, but have never used it. Been real busy this weekend. Had a nice where I wasn't doing any projects for work for BGG. Oh boy, I really should have. There is tons to do. So we have the SDJ nominees, which were announced last week, and I talked about them on the stream. We talked about them. Did we talk? Oh, we didn't get to stream last Tuesday game night because Mike Murphy was over. They were filming. It was their last few days in town. They moved back up north to Sacramento, where they're from, and it was it's sad. I mean, I really like those guys, and I like the opportunities we have to hang out. So this week's episode is a Mike and Nick Murphy episode that we had them on. That'll come out on Thursday, and that will be the season ender because we will be moving to. Hey, David. That will be the season ender. We actually are ending our season a little bit later than normal because we usually time it with the SDJs. So we usually hear the nominations at the end of May, and this year they had to do the nominations at a different time. So they didn't actually have their weekend to discuss it all completely until weekend before last, because they announced them on Tuesday. So I think they have the meeting at the end of the week. So 2 weeks ago, this Friday, is that right? Yeah. And then they finalized their nominees and made the video and announced it. And it's exciting. We have already done many of the games. All of the Kennerspiel nominees we've played. That was Dave, Nikki, and I played all three. All three of us played all three of the nominees without any other game night people. So we filmed they'll come out tomorrow. We filmed a BGG show and had Candace on, and she has only played two of the games. She played Sky Team and Guild of Merchant Explorers 2 years ago. So I said she's got her work cut out for her to be on the show with us, which she wants to do. So it'll be fun. I hope she can. The big change for us is usually because we're at BGG Spring, and the new games are there. Often everybody who's there, Rusty and Nikki and myself, and sometimes Aaron. I don't think Dave goes to Spring, has ever been to Spring. We'll play the games at the event. So we play all 9 nominees, and we have an initial impression of everything, and then we'll play them on our videos, and then we have that discussion, and it works out pretty great. But it's challenging because this year, number one, we played everything. Hey, I got Scott writing me. And he said, "Oops, I forgot you were streaming." Hey, this is some rock and roll sound and stuff here, boy. I have no idea what this playlist. I put it together a long time ago, so it'll be a little bit different. I actually kind of like the mellow one that we have on the other one, but I tend to hear the same songs. And there's a lot in there, but I maybe repeated some things. I don't know. Or it just repeats too soon or something, because I think there's hours in that other stream. Anyway, this is rock and roll. I don't know why I picked this one. Anyway, maybe I was trying to be a little bit Adam Smasher. He has the punk stuff, which is pretty fun. Anyway, we will be we've already filmed one. Well, actually, we filmed several of them. Nikki and I had filmed Sky Team a while back for Game Night Date Night. That will be the season opener for that. So Game Night Date Night's coming back, and actually season opener meaning brand new show essentially, because we did it out of necessity during the pandemic, and now we will do it. It'd probably be bi-weekly. on Tuesdays because we have some other shows that are, well, we have Jamie's solo mode, which is usually at the end of the month. I think this last one was in June because we were away. We actually got stuck in Dallas because of the storm after BGCon. Or successive storms, actually. We almost didn't get out the second flight that we had. Anyway, wow, that's loud. At least in my ears. Let me know if it's too loud. So we've already filmed that, but we kind of, I think we want to add another play. So we only play the very basic game, which is totally fine. It is the easiest version of the game. We didn't want to spoil anything, but now we're gonna, like, we've maybe played one higher level one personally. I've watched some other people play. So we are thinking that we'll just film another one and insert it and not worry about like hair being different and different, because we filmed it a little while ago. Hair being different and different clothes. But we just thought it'd be better to just maybe feature one more. So we'll probably film that. It has to go out next week. So I think that's it. The plan is that'll be the first episode. So that'll be Tuesday. Oof. And we film tomorrow and we film Friday, so I guess that means that little bit has to be edited pretty quickly. So we're probably only going to do the second level one, which introduces a new die that adds more obstacles in the air, which is exciting. And I mean, it's just more planes, but that's cool. And there's a lot of stuff. It gets progressively harder, and that's what's exciting about that game. But we filmed Captain Flip, and so we have, I think Friday we're going to film In the Footsteps of Darwin, and then maybe maybe a kids game tomorrow, maybe a kids game Friday. We only have rules for 2 of them, so we're gonna have to learn how to play one of them from German rules. Or Christoph said he'd try to help us out. But we did receive all the games. I was very impressed. We got them in less than a week from Amazon.de. They were shipped from the UK, which I'm not sure. Maybe they have some sort of logistics system going that they can. Because I think they got to the United States and then shipped via United States Postal Service. So it was interesting. We were very happy to get them as quickly as we did. That's usually the challenge, right? I've said this before, when we go to BGG Spring, we can take any of the games we don't have when we're done from and usually we have none of the children's games. And so we're hoping that that works out. And, everything will be, with having to order them is not such a terrible thing, obviously, but we're just nervous about getting them, right? As soon as it's announced, everybody buys the games. So anything that's in stock is probably out of stock pretty quickly. And so we are a little sad about that. I'm talking about SkyTeam, yeah, and we played 3 Ticket to Ride Legacies, of the first 3, and they don't really reveal a lot. That's Scott on there. How you doing? And I would love to play more of that, but we're not going to do that on video. And we had promised that we were going to try to do it. We just, we filmed it in December, I think, maybe, because we picked it up maybe in November. We picked it up at Spiel and had to lug it home. I think we did bring that one home in our luggage. We actually didn't. We usually ship a bunch of for the BGG library, but we didn't want to get our games mixed up in there because there's a whole issue with the bill of lading and stuff like that, and it only adds to the confusion. So we brought all that stuff home, and it makes it so that we don't want to bring home so much. We're like, please, we can't take everything. If you could please send it, that would be helpful. Anyway, let me switch cameras here. Hey, wrong camera angle. Let's see here. There we go. There we go. I was working on Jessica Jones. I keep wanting to call her Jennifer Jones. Jennifer Jones is an actress, which I barely recall from I used to watch. Nikki really loves Turner Classic Movies. I used to watch it a lot, and AMC when it was mostly older movies, because it was an opportunity to see movies I'd never seen, and I barely watch that stuff now, but I do remember that actress's name, and I do not, or actor. Don't remember what movie she was in. I feel like I should know one of them, but I don't remember any. Anyway, so I think she's actually not done, but close. I want to do some more to her hair. The jeans are darker than I'd originally planned, but that was a new color I tried. Did I try? I did. I tried Tyrian Navy, which was my first time using this color, and I barely used any of the speed paints. I have some of them, and I will tell you, they're pretty neat. They worked just as good. I feel the finish is maybe a little shinier, but I'm not sure. Well, sounds like some alt music here. Anyway, oh, Cascadito. Tiring Friend was only, Jennifer Jones is in that movie? Gosh, I've seen that movie, but I don't remember her in it. Let me check something here. Cool. I did mess around with some other paint stuff after I was done on the stream on Thursday. But not on any minis. I also just ordered a few, I don't need any miniatures, but I bought the Escher cutters from, wow, brain fart, Necromunda. And I haven't played Necromunda in forever, and I haven't played the new stuff at all. I have a box of it somewhere up here. There it is, Necromunda. And I don't even know if these new models work for it, but I really like the models. And I gotta tell you, I have forgotten how tiny, I mean, they're human characters. And I've forgotten how tiny Warhammer stuff is. You know, when you're dealing with like these characters, they're giant. I mean, comparatively, right? They're obviously the chibis are, you know, exaggerated and stuff, but these characters are very large, and the Escher gangs were very small. I'm like, are there figures on these sprues? Did I get screwed? And nope, they're on there, just very tiny. So I am not used to that one. I'm excited to maybe paint them on the stream, but I'm not sure what I'm going to do on it. I want to paint some other things besides Marvel United, to be completely honest, but my goal is to try to get through as much of these as I can before I receive the next batch. I have another 100 and something minis coming very soon, and then there's a Kickstarter starting in a few weeks, and I will probably be backing it all. It's the DC one, and it's going to be on GameFound instead of Kickstarter. And it's interesting, they're actually really pushing, you know, they're sending out updates. They had I had to get the Two-Face coin that they give you, they would give you if you followed it. And of course I'm going to follow it. I'm going to get it, plus I can't not get the coin. I'm eager to see if you can, I mean, sure you can, but I'd love to try to play the DC versus the Marvel stuff. And we'll probably feature them on the show again. It's been a couple of years now, and I've only got tons and tons of expansions. The issue is, of course, I want to feature stuff that people can get. We were going to do when we still may, the Spider-Geddon one, which came out, I think in October. I think it was due in October. I don't know if it actually got out in October, but I think by December it was out. And so we had gotten a copy. I bought one at Gen Con. They were nice enough to let me buy one. They were, you know, they had people lining up, and we asked about getting it, and they're like, well, you got to get in line. I'm like, okay, I just wanted to check. And then one of the folks that works with them came over. He's like, hey, you can buy it. I talked to them about it, because, you know, they knew, and I've done tons of painting streams on it. I mean, there's 10 figures in there. I think I did all of them on the stream. Anyway, I feel like this one's darker, her skin tone, but I like the gradation of the spray on this one, and I don't remember for sure. I kind of felt I airbrushed it with this one here. I airbrushed other ones, but there's a lot of things that can go wrong when you're painting with an airbrush. And you know, the more you use it, the more you get used to it. But the issue is if there's any kind of problem with your paint mix, consistency, or the air pressure change. Now, I do not fiddle with the air pressure on my main compressor, and this one you can't. It's always the same, and that's one thing I don't love about this little battery rechargeable compressor, is that it does not let you have much flexibility. I mean, there is no flexibility on the pressure. If you have an airbrush that has a MAC valve, which is a little thing at the bottom of it, you can adjust it and lower the pressure. You can't increase it. I mean, you can increase it from a lower pressure, but you can't get it any higher than what the compressor delivers. It's a little of a bummer. So I'm not sure what was the issue with that. I think these were also painted at the same time, and I don't notice that. So, and maybe I didn't. Maybe I did half of them. It's been a while since I painted them. Let's look at these guys. Yeah, this one's a little grainier. And that's not a big deal. I actually like it on some things that have fabric and stuff. I really like it. Yeah, these are a little different now. This one's not as bright, under the highlighting. But I also made that decision. I was like, I needed to focus a little bit more on, man, this is very punky. Maybe I will switch the music. Hold on. Let's go to saved. I need to look at this. It's hard to make these playlists, and I wish they would play random, but you know how random is. It would likely repeat before you even think it should, right? That's what random does. It's not like it's going to play through. It's not going to play through every song before it randomizes. So. Still kind of loud. Maybe that's just me, but let me go to the volume control. There we go. A little better. I don't think I ever hear this song because it's usually playing while I am getting ready. I also, I really want to get through. I have still. Do I have any more of the... I don't think I have any more of the Spider-Man stuff, but I have some symbiote stuff that I have to do. I mean, there's a bunch, and I'm still trying to burn through as many as I can. But anyway, there you go. We'll see what we can do here. One of the things you do is to give their eyes a little bit of I mean, there is a little darkness here going on, but you put the paint that you want to be like like an eyeliner, I guess is really what it is, and then you put the white on top of that. Now these eyes, the chibi eyes, are always so matte. Well, not always, but very, very large. They're very round, expressive eyes. So you can't. It's a little more difficult. Like on this one, I was able to paint the eyes as I felt they should be, sort of, and they're close. But usually they're he's very squinty, so, but that makes sense for Punisher. We can't look at that one. Let's see what her eyes are not so saucer-like, but anyway. Okay, let's see here. I'm going to do a little bit of that, so I'll mix a darker color. I'm nervous about it too. I'm always like super concerned that it's going to be too dark. But I did a very good job here. Like, this is essentially what I did on that one. It's not quite, it's a little bold. And it came out a little, white is hard for me to paint. And we've talked about this many times. And I actually might try painting. Do I have beads in here? I might just try painting with the gray and see how that goes, because it's way too, first of all, it goes on smoother than using just straight white paint. And it also is, like I've said about the black many times, black is never that black. at least if you're, I mean, if there's any light source, black gets lightened up because often for like leathers, I mean, that's mostly what I'm talking about is like leather, it reflects most of the time, obviously unless it's very scuffed up or something like that, but the finish on them are usually, wow, that is very thick. I think I need to put a little bit of airbrush thinner and thin that out. I've had this bottle of paint for almost 5 years now, so it's not surprising that it has thickened up a bit. I mean, especially with these bottles. I'm not a super, I mean, I actually bought this to touch up the undercoating for the minis, these minis that I did. These are the first ones that I painted that were using the contrast paints. And this paint matched, maybe Gray Sear is still around, I don't know, the spray can version of it. But I use that as the undercoat. And it works good. I mean, you don't have to have super bright white. That's, and I'm sure GW, although the new GW is a very, very white. That's White Scar, I think. Yeah. And it's really, really, really white. They don't often, I don't know, it's weird, because they're black. I mean, I don't even know that if they have a white paint that's really true white, and that's probably because it just, you're going to get better results from a paint that's not quite gray. I mean, quite black, white. Getting all mixed up. But yeah, it's difficult. Boy, this is really taking some shaking here. Okay, well, let's use this. Do a little bit of manual stirring, because this does not stir as easily as the contrast paints do. I could use a little distilled water too in here. I think I have some. I have 2 bottles that are not labeled. And I will tell you, that is not distilled water. That has some airbrush cleaning fluid in it. That may be just airbrush cleaning solution. Where is the water? The desk is messy again, which it should not be. Oh, you know what? It's probably on the airbrush rack here. Yes, it is. And it is. Looks like it's almost empty. Hooray! I need to put some more distilled water in there. And you know, you can obviously thin this stuff out of the, once you put it in a palette or whatever, but I like it to be closer to what I want to use out of the pot, and that is not necessarily what Citadel paints are, which is fine. I like to be able to go, well, especially since I don't always use a wet palette. Sometimes I do. When I'm painting acrylic paints that are just straight acrylics, I will absolutely use a wet palette. But when I'm doing the contrast paints, I don't do it as much. I used to, and I used to put that paint on the palette, but it's not as good for contrast paints by a long shot as it is for, that looks pretty good. So let's put a little bit of color around her eyes and see what we get there. Do I use a black that I thin? Or do I use Basilicano Gray? Let's do Basilicano Gray. Then it's not as intense. Although, it'll still be pretty intense. I spent the weekend working on a pinball machine. The machine's newish, so, I mean, I bought it new. But I was adding things to it that, you know, that pinball people sometimes tend to do. And I was scratching myself up. I had like this little I think these were from a wire that poked me, but it was really driving me crazy a day later, so maybe it was slightly infected, I don't know. But I scrubbed it and cleaned it out, and it has been not bothering me since, but it's been fun. I really, we've had a lot of fun with the pinball. And would love to have a bunch of machines, but that's just we're not reasonable in our the space that we have at our house. Now that's pretty thin. Let's see what we get here. She's gonna have 2 super black eyes. We'll see. It's also good not to put so much on, but too late. Ugh. Got her face like right away. Usually I can get to it if I get a little, I usually use a brush that's clean. I just clean this real fast. But if you clean it up right away, then you don't have to touch it up. And you can do it. It's just got to have something around. Not in focus. See, Nikki doesn't like characters that have eyes like this. Wow, that is really wet. Let's just clean it up and try again. Yeah, that might be enough as it is. It looks like she has a problem with her eyes. Ugh, too wet. But let's see, maybe we'll get there. Hey, it's 11 o'clock. Ooh, stop that. Okay, I had an alarm go off earlier too that I had set because I did not want to oversleep. I was up a little late last night, and I would very much most likely fall asleep. Well, I don't know. I don't sleep that late usually, but 10:30, starting a 10:30 morning stream if you've been up late for me is a bit of a challenge. And so I set an alarm and woke up, of course, before the alarm, and then as I was leaving to try not to wake Nikki, the alarm went off. So I don't know if it woke her. Popped her right off the base. Ugh. Huh, that looks like there's a, but I think that's actually just the miniature too. And there's some paint. I'm gonna have to touch that up. I mean, this is going to make her eyes even bigger. But, you know, painting this around, I'm not that good of a painter, right? To paint it around the eyes, oops, right on her face. I've done it, and I can do it. It's okay, but it's, you know, my hand is steady, but not that steady. Close that real quick. Now, it should dry pretty quickly, and I should be able to put white over it. So I'm going to try to make her eyes look like they're a little bit underneath her lids, which is, you know, what you want, but because then they look surprised. But the issue is, of course, is kind of a odd shape on the eye. But I think if I just paint like a straight line at the top of the eye, then it will look pretty good. So I have actual gray here, but let me put a little bit of white. This is actually a pretty great one too. It's bright neutral gray. It might even be brighter. I think it is brighter. Probably be the one I should be using. Is that not closed? No, it was. It's a different lid, which is, I swapped out, that's metallic medium, bold titanium white. So I swapped out the lids. So this is a, these are okay. I don't love any of these lids, to be honest with you. This is okay, eyedropper. Sort of an eyedropper. This one actually comes off, and I bought these lids, and it's okay too. Not ideal. Now the nice thing is they actually put agitator balls inside, glass ones. Cup. But we did finish, we filmed last Monday, a week ago, and I think we're going to have an episode with Aaron that will be the season opener. Wow, they look almost identical to me. So, interesting. I think, well, it's a little lighter, but you could probably use it in a pinch. Okay, let's close up the bottle, put a little bit of water in there. I really do need to fill this back up. I don't usually add the water directly to the paint, unless you're dealing with large amounts of paint. I put it into a separate reservoir and then just add it slowly. Definitely the better way to do it, because then you don't do too much, which is almost exactly what I mean, that's what happened, I think, on the when I did the eye with the gray. Now you want a good amount of paint in there. Now we're going to see how good the white looks here, in quotation marks, white. Now my hands are not resting, and Nick Murphy has a funny video of him trying to paint Doctor Strange's eyes from his Marvel United. It's not really looking like, well, first of all, still very dark. Been kind of, I don't really want to go during this time of the year, but kind of contemplating going to Vegas because Beatles Love is ending in just a couple weeks' time. It's really a bummer. Now, I've seen it several times, so I don't really need to go again, but Scott and Michelle were telling us how great it was when we first kind of went in modern times. I mean, I'm not really a Vegas person, but goodness, we were so happy we went. It was a really great show. I mean, you know, it's the Hard Rock now is the hotel. It used to be the Mirage. And it's kind of a bummer that they're not doing the Beatles at the Hard Rock, but I'm sure it has to do with licensing and everything, because, you know, Cirque du Soleil has a partnership with, she looks pretty intense. We'll see if I can make this look a little better. I might do something more on it to soften it up there. Well, I mean, she looks like a zombie or something, right, at this point. Not necessarily a zombie, but now I'm going to try to put the color at the top of her eyes. for her iris. And I don't know what color eyes she has. Let's see if they have it on the pictures. Man, I can never, I have so many windows open on this thing. There it is. Who knows? Now I've minimized it. Am I on this? Is this the call? No. I got 2 tabs open with the call. I'm surprised that's working. Jessica Jones, hooray. She has dark brown eyes, at least in this picture. And her eyes are they've done a, gosh, they're just, and they don't have them as, I think I need to do a little bit more white. That, you know, they make them large. They're so good. This is done by Big Child Creatives. So they don't even have any eyeliner on her. And they do something where they made this work, the eyelid work a little bit stronger. Hey, thanks for the follow, Matt Monster. So I think I need to actually paint a little bit of flesh tone. If I have one, I do. But do I have a better flesh tone? How's it going, Matt? I'm painting some, is this flesh? This is a bone color. I don't feel I actually have many flesh options. So I'll try this one. Let's shake it up. Who knows? This paint is so old. But look how fast that, I mean, it's a small pool of it, but it's drying very quickly. Contrast paints can dry very fast, particularly here. Ooh, yeah, that's not bad. Maybe that'll work. It doesn't sound like there's any fluid in there, but this is a, what is it called? Light flesh. But you know, it should be a little tiny bit darker since it's her eyes. Ooh. I don't know, I might have softened that up too much. Yeah, maybe not. Well, that's a little softer. I don't mind the eyeliner so much. Okay, so now I need a brown. I will probably just use the Gilman flesh, as that is a pretty strong color when it's undiluted or unthinned out with the technical medium. Really shouldn't have this here. It gets challenges the focus. I'm sure this painting pad here is not great either. That may not be dark enough and opaque enough. I mean, that's, although I use these all the time as the color because I don't have a tremendous amount of standard acrylics. This isn't terrible. Not necessarily brown enough. Her eyes look very brown in the picture. But Big Child's great. I want to try their paints, but I don't know if they did a Kickstarter or something like that. That's the downer about, like, if you buy those kinds of paints that are Kickstarted, are they going to become available I mean, I think that Big Child is partnering with somebody to produce them. So it might be that they'll be a little more available than some, but I was really hopeful that the Duncan Roads would become. I mean, we have at least one store sort of near us that has them, but they only have the first wave. And so it's kind of a bummer. I mean, you see how gigantic these eyes are. There's tons of room to do things in them. I'm not doing that great of a job on, for some reason, like the center is. That's okay. She looks a little intense with the super dark eyeliner, but I did lighten it up a bit. I'll let that dry for a moment because it's a little she has very dark and large eyebrows. Huh. Plus I need to do her teeth. Kind of gritting her teeth. I don't feel that's right though on that. Okay, and then a dot of black, which we don't even have anymore. That's dried on the palette, but I'll let that dry. So let's try to do the dark for the eyes again. Maybe lighten it up a bit. I put this on a little bit wetter, so that's going to take some time to dry. She looks like she's from Coraline. Need to put some button holes on it. I do not want this to drain, so let's see if I can rotate it so that it will not rock. So if you change the shape of it, I mean, she definitely looks intense here. So basically, I am just painting it with the edge of my brush very lightly so it doesn't get too... I'm not going to do her eyebrows as intense as they have them here. Boy, they have them go all the way to her hairline. That just seems crazy. Now, maybe if they're inspired by the Marvel shows, I don't know. I've never seen the Jessica Jones show. Now I'm doing this on a part that does not have that raised edge for me to paint on, so I'm trying to define that line with the brush. There we go. It's not quite 100% how I do it, but it looks pretty good. Now, let's do some teeth. Do I have... We'll use the gray and see if that works. She'll have not as nice teeth as some of the other ones I have done. See if I can lighten up that bit around her eyes here without changing the color too much. Huh, it's not the same, and not surprising. That's not so bad. I feel I'm actually spending a little bit more time trying to get it right than I normally do. Well, I mean, I'm always like freaking out, so it's a challenge. Well, let's see here what we get. Tried this one. Again, this one's probably a little too intense. Maybe I can soften it before I put the white of her eyes on. So what I'm doing is basically kind of just doing a wash over the edge here. Now she looks scary. Probably too much. Let's see here. Gosh, I just had a flash of, there's a delicatessen in Indianapolis that's a little of a walk from the convention center, but I took Nikki there last year for her birthday, and they have pie and all kinds of stuff. It's pretty great. There were tons of folks from the convention there, and like regulars were coming in like, what's going on? We all had badges on, so it should have been obvious. But they still kind of look beady. Maybe I can fix it up a little bit. Not in focus. Hey, right in her hair. Although I do want some highlights, but not that intense and not that wide. So I'm just cleaning it off. That means there's a lot of paint on that brush, which I really didn't want. It's okay. I almost feel like it really needs a little bit more white. It might be too gray. Usually when you're painting tiny minis, you don't really have to worry too much about the eyes because you just can't, I mean, unless you're doing work for a competition, you don't really need to worry about it because they're never going to be that visible on the playfield. Now, these minis are going to be a little bit more noticeable than most because they are, wow, why is this crooked? Anyway, there's fewer of them on the playfield. That is weird. Like, did I shift everything? Huh. keep knocking this one around. I think I need to put it back on the base holder. I need to work on this a little bit differently. Her forehead is so dark, and it should be lighter. You know, sun coming down on it, light coming down on it. Okay, that helps a little bit. Too much moisture. Okay, now let's try to do the brown on her eyes. I don't feel like this is as long as it should be. Still not right on the intensity of the forehead there. You definitely don't want to overwork the paint. You end up really with some problems. But I have there's a spot on here that just looks too dark to me. Okay, well, let's let that go before I destroy things even more. And now let's try to do her eyes. Let's see, are they big enough? Get rid of a lot of the whites there. That's a little better, maybe. Does she really need a dot for her eyes that's dark? Probably. It's very tiny though. And then she also needs like a little bit of a spotlight, you know, like a... That's too bright. It's right on her iris, so not good. That's okay. Right on her eyebrow. That's helps. It might be better than the other one. Probably because it's a little brighter and small. You need it to be tiny. That's pretty good. Hey, thanks for the follow, Loco Griego. How you doing? I need kind of a blush. I don't know how to do it exactly. For the, I'm not happy with my lip painting lately. Let's see if I can make it with the white. Not with the white, but the flesh tone I've been using. Eyes are so hard to do. Yes, they are. And I'm being a little silly about it here, I think. I feel, you know, the face, so I've always had trouble with the faces, and it's a challenge. But I like to work on it because I would like to get better at it, and sometimes I have a really successful go at it, and then sometimes it's just terrible. This one's pretty good. I have not had the best of luck lately. I think your lips are dark enough. A little too pink. Get some water on here and maybe reduce the impact of that upper lip. It does not look right. It's a little too pink. I really don't want it to be too strong, but it kind of feels like it needs to be a little stronger. I mean, unless you've got like some sort of lip treatment that has it's funny though, sometimes I can do okay. I think really what it comes down to is I probably should be painting the lips before I do the teeth and then fix some of that stuff with the white. So I will try to do that. Got giant lips here. Woof, not good. Let's hope the teeth can help. It might. Yipes. Just try to do a little bit on here and see what I get. Ugh. Let it dry, and I'll probably need to do a little bit of control on the perimeter there with some of the flesh color I have, the light flesh, that I'll have to darken up a bit. I'm not really sure what it is. I don't like it with the lips just being so strong. I don't think you need to completely outline them, but it ends up kind of needing it, which I don't like. Because, you know, the lips don't, you know, unless it's going for something extreme, they don't go, it's not good over here either. Toothpick, water. So all I really need to do is just do a better job. It definitely helps by not making him cartoonishly large. So, I need to fix this one a lot. So let me see if I can get the flesh tone close-ish and solve that. Art is all to do with the way you feel at the time, I think, for sure. And I'm not too stressed about it. It's okay to not have it 100% the way you think it should be, but I'm not real happy with this right now. And this is very red. Why is this coming out so red? I get when I add a brown to it. Well, let's see here. I'll try to do it thin. Flesh tone. I'm not a fan. Ugh. Too dark, too light, I mean. Yeah, that helps already a little bit. The pink is already gone, dry. It's so fast. Just want to do a little bit of a Oof, her skin is not right. Her cheek too. I'm getting to do too much here on it, and it's turning into a problem. You got to be careful. That's pretty good. They aren't the same, and I kind of feel like the one that I was able to really pull off the smaller mouth is the right one for sure. I don't want to mess it up, but I do want to put a little bit more color. Pretty good. I'm not going to stress it. It'll only mess it up more. This one on the right looks a little stronger than the one on the left, so I can already tell which one I will be giving to the other person. That looks pretty good. Okay. Hey, David. You take care. Have a good one. Good luck at the meeting. Let's put those aside for now. Let me work on poor. What was the one that I had? The lip, I think it's, yes. Terrible ones here. Okay. Still not great on that one. Maybe fiddle with it some more later. Okay. Let's get work on the bases a little bit. These are not done yet, though. The Jessica Jones, but they're close. You shouldn't spend too much time on anything unless you're really hoping to do something with it. Okay, we're going to use the Basilicanum Gray that is not good. Boy, the paints dry so fast. My ear. Check something. Okay. Black Legion. I use this, I'm going to use this up. There's still quite a bit left in it, but this is the one that I spilled. And it lost like its contrast qualities. I do not know what happened. And let's use this, which will be shiny, but I can put a matte varnish. Use the two things that, this one I left this is a contrast medium. I left it open, well, not open, but the lid wasn't completely closed over a weekend. And it kind of messed it up. So I started using the other bottle before I was done with this one, which is a bummer. So it's a little shinier than the other. I don't, not certain what it's losing. Maybe there's, I don't know. I should be holding it with the holder. say that this stuff is stickier. Huh. Ugh. Slopping around here. Might be a little too dark. It's okay though, I'll probably put a little bit more on the other bases if it doesn't dry up too fast. A little darker. Clonk. That one looks pretty good. Okay. Got that one there. Okay. Getting in my hair. Okay. The Bob Ross minis. I don't know about that, but thanks, Mike King, for watching. I do love painting them. I it's definitely a great relaxation thing for sure, and it helps you, just. I mean, I look forward to it. I actually don't get to paint nearly as often as I'd like, and I've had to skip streams, and we've traveled. I'm obviously going to favor regular game night live streams to these, but it's still fun, and I do enjoy doing it. I would love to just spend, hopefully, I mean, we're working ahead on our schedule to try to be ready for the SDJ stuff, and we are already way far ahead. We have already filmed 3 that we had done previously. Switch to the other camera. We had 3 that we had done previously. Guild of Merchant Explorers, Ticket to Ride, Legends of the West Legacy, Ticket to Ride Legacy, Legends of the West. I think that's actually how it is. And then Daybreak. I hope that Daybreak is more available. When we filmed it, it was not. I mean, not when we filmed it, it wasn't available really at all. But when we put the episode out, it was still not available much, and that is a bummer. But it's a great game. Matt's got good chances this year. Matt Leacock, he's nominated for 2 Kenners. And we really enjoyed Guild of Merchant Explorers. We played that one probably the most out of all of them. We had to film that one a couple of times because of some issues, some silly and some a little of a bummer. I mean, I have the footage. I may just release. I think I have the footage. I may just release one of them or both of them. I don't know. There's just one because we have no Kenners to show. We usually have some. We'll release them in groups. The Kinders will have already come out, like last week, I think would be the date. Maybe even, I think so. Because usually we go to BGG Con and we have them out within 2 weeks. But because the Kinders are being announced, that the nominations were at the same time, which they always are at the same time as the other awards, but they're also going to announce the winners at the same time. And so we have more time. Like I think last year it was like the 15th or so when they had the announcement, July, when the winners were announced. But they are now doing it on the 21st. And the great thing was that they did the nominations. They had subtitles for it when it went live, which was awesome. Now that was a pre-recorded video. I don't think that they pre-record. I know they won't pre-record the winners, but we usually are into the next season by now. But we will launch next season next week, and hopefully the plan is. So it's going to be the 28th. We'll see, because I want to. We're going to do the. We also have the nominated Sky Team. That's one that we have a video. So we haven't filmed. All 3 of the standard SDJs have not been released. We filmed Sky Team as a game night, date night, but we filmed Captain Flip, and we're going to do. In the Footsteps of Darwin. Kept trying to put Legacy in that title. In the Footsteps of Darwin, and those will both probably come out the same week. Maybe not though. We'll see. We have to figure out how to do it. We don't have now all 3 kids games we haven't played, so that'll be kind of normal. Very rarely. I mean, so rarely will we have done it. We did Brian's. I think probably the only time we did Brian's. Ghost Fighting Treasure Hunters with him. I don't think I was actually on that episode or playing it on that episode. Is that right? 1, 2, 3. No, maybe Aaron might have been in it. I don't remember. I think it was. I wasn't actually playing. But we filmed that one, and then almost a year later. So I guess it came out probably in the summer, and so then the next year it was nominated 2012 maybe, or 13. And so we had that one pre-recorded, but it's very, very rare that we have anything like that. Paint night, yeah, everything is game night and date night and all that stuff. But I paint during the so the live streams. This is someone Query Edu on YouTube. We live stream alternating weeknights and weekdays. So today will be a standard live stream, paint live stream. We'll have a standard game night live stream on Thursday evening, West Coast time at 5:30. So we alternate, and the reason for that is there's audience that doesn't see us internationally. Like if we have people that watch from the UK and Germany, and the evening is the morning is a better time for them. The evening, you know, we stream and it's 2:30 in the morning, you know, in Germany, and 12:30 or 1:30 in UK. I think it's 12:30. So you know that's late, and so we just flop them back and forth. But yeah, we're just sticking to the branding. You know how it is. How is that drying? I definitely won't be putting any varnish on these today. I want to wait for that stuff to completely dry. Captain Marvel looks better. Her mouth is still. She's very pursed lips there. But yeah, hopefully we'll have a bunch of stuff in the can, and we still want to film when people are available, but we have to rush to get everything out. Well, not rush. We are working ahead. We definitely have things edited and ready to go, but not everything's rendered, and I need to review and render more things to really get ahead. I need to have things. We actually had a problem a few months back where one of our episodes we got the rules wrong, which is very strange because we've played it right before that. But if Nikki was reading the rules and I can't remember if she was reading a translation. I think I mean, they're always a translation, but I think she was reading an unofficial translation or something, and the wording was slightly different because somebody looked at it and they're like, yeah, I think Rusty, he's like, I would have probably come to the same conclusion, but he had played it at BGG. Wow, what is this doing? Oh, that's broken. Well, not broken, but popped. Okay, well, I gotta fix that. So I have a little reservoir over here that I use to get fresh water, and it's pretty great, but the little tab, I did clean it this morning, so maybe I popped it off. So we pulled that episode. I mean, it was bad enough that it, as Scott said, it does not represent the game, and in some way I actually prefer it because it was a tighter race, but it's true. It's not the game as published, so we pulled it down, and we didn't have an episode that week, which really bummed me out. So that's why we did a doubleheader a couple weeks back to make up, and then we actually put that with Silver and Gold Pyramids, and we put out the new version of that. And I think we played with 4 on that one. We did, which was better. The challenge is, you know, it is tough to get 100% on the rules, and we most often do okay on the rules. It's something where we misplay in the videos. So we had done World Wonders, I think with only 3 of us, but Dave had done something wrong. I think he still did something wrong in the next version of the episode. But as long as we teach it correctly and it doesn't lead off with bad plays, then it should be okay. And that was the case. It was like Dave's first move was incorrect. And I remember when we were playing the game, I didn't catch that, but when we were talking about something, I said, well, no, you can't do that. But I didn't catch it during the teach on the other parts, so I was kind of bummed. But we refilmed that, and it was better. And then, and you know, that's also a bummer, just to refilm anything. We had to refilm our season, if it's done, our season opener with Aaron. And it was a downer because it was a very complicated, long game, and we couldn't do it. It was 100% incorrect, and it's funny because I thought there was a problem. Dave thought I mean, Nikki, we all probably thought there was a problem, but Aaron looked it up that night, and he's like, we can't use it. So we used some of it, but we redid the gameplay. So and that's the way to do it. You know, if you can, you want to get it as close as possible. And we have experience playing the game because we have filmed it before. But it was something to do with, I thought that there was something to it, like maybe they were doing to advance experience or something, but that wasn't that wasn't the case. We were walking, it was a cakewalk, you know. Hey, Archangel, how you doing? It is night somewhere, always, Mike King. But yeah, so you don't want to waste effort, and it's tough. We've had to, sadly, I mean, we love Deborah being on the show. We've had to discard episodes with Deborah on them that had problems. I mean, I don't like to discard any episodes, but those were a couple of problems that were during the play. I feel like one of them, I knew I wasn't going to be using it because they were talking about something they missed, and it's ultimately to the player in that case to catch that, right? You have to make sure that you get what you deserve, since everybody's doing things simultaneously, and that's just the nature of that kind of game, right? I can't even. It's weird. Like lately, lately over the last year and a half, we've had a few more. Usually, not usually. Sometimes it's a much deeper game that we've messed up something, and we catch it at the end. But we've had several games we've had to play 3 times. 1, 2. 1, 2. Not everything. 2 or 3. 2, of course, is replay. 1, you don't replay it. You're playing it straight through. We really want to try to get it as accurate as possible. We've had some problems. We had one a long time ago that we did that was a Kickstarter. During Kickstarting, and the rules changed from that to release time. And so, that's fine, but it's not so much fun for people that are coming to watch the episode and learn how to play it. And YouTube doesn't help us. I think that there's some sort of maybe control of people modifying stuff or something, but you can't. You used to be able to put notes in. Some people, Rado is an example, and others, he was the first one to use the Klingon subtitles. We should actually, I don't know, we'd have to tell people to turn them on at the beginning of every episode, but that's a possibility. We probably should start doing that, just in case it's minor enough. If we catch it during the editing, then we'll put a note in, and I've done that many times, but I've also killed episodes because I saw a problem with it. But it is a challenge. Gosh, I gotta say, the one downer about these 2 minis here, let's cut back, is, they're just dark, like dark clothes. And I was kind of getting frustrated with painting all these things red, and then I get slapped back with too gray. I do generally follow I don't know I know Blade. I've seen 2 of the 3 movies. I never read any of the comics, but I've never seen Jessica Jones, so I don't know. I imagine she wears jeans and a t-shirt, as based on what we're seeing here. But I generally follow the paint jobs that that CMON puts out during the campaign, and sometimes in the fall. They'll do a bunch during the campaign, but they'll also continue. They paint all of them. They'll put photos for all of them, and they're also great about putting the backside of the miniatures. This first wave did not have that, and Scott got a Marvel Illustrated encyclopedia. I did not buy one, and I should, because then you can at least refer to the comic book version of the stuff. And I have made decisions. I changed her hair here I think that I feel I should look it up. I can. I think that they had it green. Let's see. And I was just like, no, I want to do it as the movies, because she had like red hair. I was doing it after after Avengers Endgame, I think. And or maybe it was, well, in the time frame of those two movies, Infinity War and that. And her hair was red, and I was like, I like it with the red. So I went with something similar. Now, I'm just showed you a picture here. It's not there. Oops. Let's do it here. There we go. Her hair is, I mean, you know, the green skin. I really feel, maybe it was black hair. Let me look. I'm not finding. It's the weird thing is the stuff in this folder doesn't arrange 100% alphabetically, and I do not know what is happening. Like some of it is, and then all of a sudden it goes back to backwards or something. I don't get it. I guess I could look at it later, but I just want to see. I mean, it's fine to, especially if you have an informed opinion or your own opinion of it, then go for it. Have you seen the DC United cards yet? I have not seen the. I saw like an image of the cards, Archangel. I don't know that they're going to change them. I can't imagine that they will, especially since the games aren't necessarily meant to be integrated between the two systems. Not that you can't do that, maybe, I don't know. But I am intrigued to see how they go. I think that I'm happy that they're making some changes and they're making it different so that it's distinctive. But I think she turned out great too. I really like her skin. It's weird. It's like sometimes I have no problems with the. Boy, I'm not finding her here. Where the heck is her photos? There's Mantis. Boy, this is so out of order. There's Rocket. Star-Lord. Sort of kind of alphabetical here. What the heck? This is all the photos, I think. There's Yondu right in the middle. I don't get it. Something has got to be with the file names incorrect, or maybe I've got two things. I also have last modified. Let me just click on the name. Let's flip them the other way, though. But yeah, if you have an idea of what you want to do, then go for it. But I just don't want to wait. If I sit and I spend all this time thinking about like what I want to paint it, then I'm wasting time. I really need to put the effort into painting them, you know, and that's the fun part. You know, it really is great, and these look cool. 100%. This is not exactly the same. And let's cut, even though I'm in a different position, not going to be much help here. My hair. My hair. Anyway. They're still not 100% alphabetically organized. I don't get it. I almost feel like I should just go look at the Kickstarter. Be faster than I'm getting here. I need to like look at these and see what it could be the issue. Gosh, dang it. Anyway. Let me look it up on my phone. Maybe I don't have it in the right folder. It's certainly a possibility. I was copying. These are all on Google Drive, which is wonderful because then I can look at it on any device. But there's something up. Oh, come on. Why am I not seeing it? It's got to be here. Where is Gamora? Oh, you know what? There's probably only one photo. And I'm missing it. It is exactly one image. Boo. Yeah, they did green hair. That's what I thought. And I don't remember her having green hair. Now, maybe the comic book she does. But I thought the red was a little more exciting. One more time, go back to the camera. And I you know, I want some contrast in there. I've got the wrong glasses on for looking at this. But yeah, it turned out cool. It's interesting. They are, I will tell you, so you know, these come assembled, and I've had problems where things have broken. The Iron Man, I had to pin it. It fell to the floor, and it popped right off. It was a cold day, so maybe that made it more brittle. The new plastics are different. I don't know. This is all first series. I believe the second series, I'm almost 100% certain the Mutants ones were a different style of plastic, harder, but maybe they're more durable. Now I did straighten him up a little bit comparatively when I pinned it. This one is a little leaning a bit, but I really like this one. This is the one that I dry brushed. I just think the DC ones are more powerful. Yeah, I agree with you. It's probably going to be the case. Maybe they'll offer at some point in another campaign some upgraded kind of stuff that changes the, because you know they need to up the ante every time. It can't just be the same game. You know, they added characters that could be both the good guys and the bad guys, you know, on the Marvel United stuff. But I don't know. I don't really need to buy the DC ones, but I am going to be buying them. And I hope to, I mean, I don't know. I hope it's not $400 something, but I'm pretty certain it will be. They keep going up in price on each one. And, you know, things cost more and shipping costs more, and they have just done more miniatures. Because I believe the first one cost me like $220. And then the next one was near $300, I believe. And then the last one I think was $400. So, you know, there's about $1,000 put into this game. And I also have the Marvel Zombicide, not all of it, but I have some of that. I did not back that. Scott was saying I should do it and, you know, just have the company pay for it. But my problem with all of these is not everything's available. They say that there's Kickstarter exclusive versions, but then they change, sometimes they're available. I keep my eyes on them, and on Amazon and elsewhere, and it's not often. So it's kind of a downer. I'm painting things I know people can't easily get. On the previous campaigns, they've always made the previous wave available. Excuse me, I'm sorry. They've always made the previous wave available, but I doubt they're going to do that with the DC one, but maybe they will. But for Marvel, it made sense, right? I mean, I bet you they can even do that because of the licenses. it's interesting. So I wear those geeky jerseys all the time, and I watched a stream from 6 months ago of theirs. I don't catch them very often, and they were talking about licensing. And the one thing that I had noticed but I didn't realize was 100% happening is they had decided to no longer do their own. Now, their own were not really their own. They were basically, mashing it up or something, doing something that was, geek culture, and now they're only going to do licensed. And they said they weren't going to number them, but I have, I believe, a numbered one recently. I haven't been buying that many. I had ordered, so last year I ordered an R2-D2 one and a C-3PO, which I've worn recently on the show. Those they didn't number, but they also took more than a year to, I believe, to get to. I just got the last one in June, so a week or so ago, and that's a long time. So I don't know what happened on that. Now that one had custom. They had custom names on it. I gave my own number and name, and so they had to do that. And that may be one reason why they have decided to just go with the license thing, to not encourage the to do the custom stuff, because I bet that just complicates matters. I'm not even sure what happened. I don't. One of their illustrators, who is a freelance guy, watches our streams sometimes, and so I've chatted with him, and I want to know, but I'm not going to press anybody to actually get the answer, why that was delayed, but and he may not know, so I was kind of frustrated. I wasn't buying them, and there's many that I liked. I'm not like a massive D&D person, but I love all of their D&D ones, particularly the character ones, not just the logo ones, but the Eye of the Beholders, those are sold out in my size. I waited too long. But the thing is I don't really need them. I mean, I have many jerseys. I have too many. But I love them. I think the newest ones, they have a gelatinous cube and, gosh, what is it called? The trunk, and those are great. I mean, I really like the trunk one because it's purple. I did buy, so I wasn't completely free of doing that. I did buy the Metropolis, which was not licensed or numbered, but I think maybe I didn't buy it when it was initially in the campaign. But here's the deal. I don't know that they do pre-orders that much anymore. They're basically coming out. The funny thing is I had no idea that they had Godzilla, and that one just recently got released. And that was 6 months ago. They had mentioned they just signed the deal, so it took them 6 months to get their first Godzilla one. They seem like they might be doing some other monsters, which is awesome. I did not buy the Godzilla, and it is sold out. I got Scott; he got one. I'm excited for. I mean, once two of my friends were getting the same jersey, I'm like, I don't really need it, and so I didn't back it. I didn't buy it, but I had a long time to think about it, because when you buy a lot from them, they let you have a pre-order with it, and they ended up running that pre-order for a week. So the folks that had the chance to get them, I think they sold over 100. They did 200, and they sold over 100 in the pre-order, and they sold out just about every one of them. And it's a nice one, but can't buy everything. Hey, Circe, I'm doing good. How are you doing? But I love their jerseys, and I keep asking. I asked the CBS Inc. Chad to do a Blade Runner one. I want a Blade Runner one. The replicants would be awesome, but now that everything's licensed, I don't know. I don't know how difficult that is. And that was interesting to hear them talk about the range of difficulty, like getting things approved, and sometimes just right away, because they talked with a guy that does licensing and has done the stuff for them. And they were saying, of course, Kevin Smith is easy because he loves the stuff and is quick to respond, like pays attention and gets it done. Now, he's in control of his IP, and he understands IP a lot. I mean, you can't ignore it after Star Wars and listening to the stories about Fox signing that stuff away, and that had to be massive moneymaker. Anyway, I am going to go. We have game night on Thursday. Wow, we are going to have a busy 3 days because we have that plus 2 filming days starting tomorrow. And I'm not certain what we're going to do for game night live. We have a couple of ideas. One we want to do, but you need more players. So we'll see how that goes. Nikki will be there, and I don't know. We had Mike with us, Nikoloff. That was really great, a real treat. We don't usually have an opportunity to have folks come because, you know, during the week is hard. We mostly film on the weekends. It's kind of surprising we're going to film during the week twice this week. And we filmed with Aaron last week on Monday. I think he was available Sunday as well, but it was easier for everybody to just do it on Monday, which ended up being great. It's nice to be able to... So when we're done, we usually go get something to eat, and everything closes so early now. So we're very happy. We still weren't done till near 8:30 or something like that, but we were able to go and have food at a nice Indian place that we really like. And so, and neither of Dave has been able to maybe go have some lunch with us or something, but Aaron has not been able to go and do that. So it was a real treat. He's actually taking vacation and doing some visiting family and going to visit friends in Vegas. So he's got a very busy month and a half ahead of him. So it was great that he was able to make the time. Because once we lost the episode, I was like, well, that's a bummer. Because I like to have the original core 4 on the first episode of the season. It does not always work out that way, especially lately. But it was really great to have him. Hopefully that episode comes together. That is the hope. Anyway, hey, you got back. David, how's everything? How was your meeting? So let me go see if we can raid something. Let's go to that. It's silly, I don't really... Why is this? Oh, I guess it's under the Stream Manager or something like that. Video, no, Creator Dashboard. I wish that YouTube could do the same. It's actually really awesome. Boy, it's going slow. Let's see if anybody... It's probably Ruel. Oh, you know what? I've lost everybody already. Their stream, I usually have mine end early. So a bunch of you have already went to Ruel's thing. They've changed the way this works. It's not Ruel, it's Rado and Ruel. Wow. I don't see it in our... Can you search? I can search. Let me put Rado. Wow, come on. No channels found. What the heck? It's such a terrible... Well, let me see if we can find something else. French players. Unmatched Team League. Let's just go there. Well, let's go. They have 32 viewers. They're doing better than me today. So if you want to join in on the raid on Twitch, please click through. I hope these people are mellow. They're playing on Match, which is awesome. It looks like they're playing on Board Game Arena or something like that. Anyway, everybody take care. Have a great one. It was good to see you all, and I hope you have a great week. I'll talk to you later. And then YouTube folks, I'll say goodbye to you when this goes through. Is it going to go? There we go. Raid now. Bye, everybody on Twitch. Okay, YouTube, let's see what we got here. Thanks for joining me, and thanks for the chat. It was good to have y'all, and I hope to see you guys next week. And again, Thursday we'll be streaming some board game. So if you can